me, and behind the camera is Harmeet Goindi, and we are members of the Tuckahoe Environmental and Sustainability Committee, and we are celebrating Summer Solstice. By the way, our logo is TESC, Tuckahoe Environmental and Sustainability Committee. We're celebrating Summer Solstice, and we are at the Broken Bow Brewery at 173 Marbledale Road. And I'd like to introduce Lyle Lamothe and Michael Lamothe. And they're going to give us a tour of the brewery.
So this is an old German-made brew house that originally was made for a brewery in Japan, and we brought it out here after the brewery in Japan decided to close up their business. And we like that it has a lot of character and history to it, as well as functions that Germans put into their brew houses that Americans do not. You also can see the copper look, which is very shiny, and it has a lot of characteristic to it, which we like to have at the brewery. As you can see with the reclaimed pallet wall that we have here as well. Try to make it very industrial, and everything's kind of in the middle of all the equipment, but still very homely feeling at the same time. So that's a pretty recent renovation that we did during the time that we were shut down for coronavirus, where we took all pallet wood and some of it we took from the pallets outside, then we got some reclaimed ones from South Carolina that we put up to kind of make the place a little bit warmer, but also help a little bit with acoustics for when we have bands out. It sounds a lot better, a lot clearer as well. But they are all real pallet boards that we put up there ourselves, one piece at a time.
In addition to the wall, really anything that you see in here made of wood, whether it's the barrels for decoration, or this table that was actually the when we moved into the facility, all of this was up in the ceiling, and we built tables from it. To the doors that separate the warehouses, and again, reclaimed pallet wood. We realized that we take a lot from the environment when you're making beer and other craft products, and so we attempt in every single way that we can imagine to give it back. When Mike is brewing, all of the grain and the material that is used to produce our beer, which we hope you'll come and enjoy, is then sent to a local farm, Stone Barn, for feed for the animals. We have also worked with Hilltop Hanover in the past. They use the spent grain for composting for the soil. And frankly, a number of citizens come and get it for their own animals.
I've come here, I've taken, I do my own composting, mostly plant composting. But don't forget that we also have the composting in the Department of Public Works, where you can include all items, bones, meat, plants, everything, anything that's compostable. So, and that's, by the way, we ship 800 pounds a week in food that's not being used. Okay?
How much do you guys send to Stone Barns every week? Amount of
what would you estimate?
It ranges a lot depending on seasonality, how many batches we're having, but I would say at a minimum we're going to do somewhere around 500 pounds, and at a maximum probably somewhere around 4,000 pounds in a week.
Over a ton?
Yeah.
Almost 2 tons?
Yes.
Per week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a lot of grain.
And that's, wow, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's primarily barley. It's also some wheat, some corn, some oats, but primarily barley, which the bulk of it is in our silo that's outside. That typically comes from Wisconsin, but we have grain that comes from all over the world, including Belgium, the UK, and all throughout the United States as well.
We are very proud of our environmental efforts, and we do it because we want to, but occasionally we do actually get recognized for the effort. A couple years ago, we were the recipients of the Green Medallion Award via the Eastchester Environmental Committee.
Cool.
And we keep it high on the wall because we're very proud of that.
So this is our cellar. We have a range of tanks that we fill in here depending on the style of beer that we're making. So these are the smallest tanks that we have. They're 10 barrels, which is 310 gallons. which would be how many cases of beer.
That would be about 100 cases of beer.
And then we have the next size up, which is this over here, which is 30 barrels, so that's about 1,000 gallons. Then we've got some really big ones in the back that are 60 barrels, so those are about 1,800 to 2,000 gallons per batch. Right now they're all full. We're kind of running at capacity right now. So if a tank gets emptied, we fill it up immediately.
Okay. So what's the process? You get the barley, and where do you sort of put it in? Where do you ferment it?
So in the copper brew house up at the front, that's where we process it. It's called a mash, where we mix it with warm water, depending on the temperature ranges, depending on what type of beer we're making. We extract the liquid from it, which at this point enzymes have converted everything into sugars, which we then boil it, add the hops, any other ingredients. Then we send it into these tanks, which is where it will ferment. So for example, right here we have our Marbledale American Pale Ale. This is about 1,000 gallons in this particular one. A very big beer.
This is my favorite.
I don't think I've tried it. Huh.
Yeah, it's one of our top sellers, and it's this batch is finished. We actually canned some of it yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And then we've got other ones like this batch over here is we just finished yesterday the brewing on it, so it's fermenting right now. And then we have other different stages. You can see that one fermenting right there into that bucket.
So that's carbon dioxide that's coming out?
Yes, it is one of the byproducts of the fermentation process.
How long does it stay in the barrel? A month?
It ranges a lot. So our fastest would be our Mosaic Amarillo IPA, which can be ready in about 2 weeks. And then our longest, we actually have a sour that we're going to be releasing probably in about a week, I would say. We're releasing a base version and a raspberry version, and that's been aging for 2 years.
2 years?
That's correct.
Inside this or in...
In a big tank in the back, yes.
And not in the barrels, not in the casks?
No, we have barrels back there that are aging right now. Those right now are actually all empty. But we do have a barley wine that we like to age in barrels. We released, the barley wine is rye barrels, red wine, and bourbon barrels. And then we mix it all together. And then we also have our Cocoa Chloe right now, which is a rum barrel aged Baltic porter that we also put coconuts in. Shaved, toasted coconuts. So,
well, I think one of the more interesting aspects of the business, I would just counted it, there are 8 different styles of beer brewing in here. And as I'm sure everybody's aware, there's 2 real styles of our families of beer. You have lagers and you have ales. As Mike and Casey and Isaac, our brewers, would attest, they all move at different paces to conclusion. So they don't all, start and finish in 2 weeks. Well, logistically, they have to work very, very hard to figure out which tank is ready and which one it has to move to. Because as you can see, some of them are conical in nature. That's where the beer comes right from the brew house. And some of them are flat. These are the bright tanks, and that's where they finish. So the brew crew works really hard, not just on brewing the beer, but the process of basically weaving the various styles, coordinating the process to finish, so that they can start again. If you're a brewer, the one thing you want to do really is brew, and you need an empty tank to do that.
Over here we have our canning machine, which is it's small in footprint but pretty robust. Basically the cans are going to come in over here, get flipped over and rinsed out, put right back on. Over here the cans get purged of oxygen because oxygen has negative effects on the beer. Then it fills it up. It'll come through over here. It grabs the lid right there and goes in there and spins around, and the lid gets tightened onto it. Then afterwards it comes through here, gets put into a 6-pack, and comes out the other end. It does about a case per minute, so about 24 cans per minute.
And those are the cans up there.
Yep, those are, we have 12-ounce cans and 16-ounce cans. The 16-ounce are the bright metal ones that we put labels on top of. The 12s are all printed directly. And then behind you, we've got, these are the larger tanks that I mentioned. So this tank right here is going to hold about 2,000 gallons of beer. Right now it's actually full and fermenting, as you can see by the blow off right there. That's our Mosaic and Amarillo IPA, which is our top selling beer.
So where do you guys sell it to? All over America?
All in New York, actually. We have had some beers like our barley wine, and recently the Coco Chloe was sent to a Beer of the Month Club where it went all throughout the United States. But primarily, we just sell beer in New York. We're at a lot of local restaurants and stores such as Bev Mart up at the top of the hill. And,
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, and so
that,
you
yeah.
know, the local community, they carry us on draft at a lot of the restaurants.
Yeah.
And then we're also at quite a few places in the city as well. There we got our keg cleaner. We're kind of bursting at the seams right now with equipment, so but we're making a lot of beer.
So these are the kegs that you use here, or?
Yeah, we use them here, and then they also go out to restaurants.
Got it.
These are the kegs that came back in probably the past 2 days that need to be cleaned on that machine back there.
Okay, and then you refill it and
Yep,
send
and then we
it out.
refill it and send it out again.
So that's good for sustainability, right?
It is. It's very good. We'll reuse those kegs up to, they can last up to 30 years.
Of course.
So,
The original bar. I'm very happy to say that we had the need, and we're now in our almost 8th year. Our 8th year will be August of this year. So this bar served us for the first 7+ years. It is made largely of reclaimed wood, and frankly, with the various styles of beer that the team is now producing, we just outgrew the bar, and we had to have some more complicated systems. I guess there's some part of us that hates, we're a little sentimental, and so we haven't been able to bring ourselves to, dispose of the bar yet. I think we're all hoping to figure out another way to repurpose it.
we'll find a use. You want to show the new bar up front?
Yeah, it's reclaimed wood.
So this is our new bar that replaced that other one that you just saw, and you can see it's all reclaimed wood and metal. And this actually came to us secondhand from another business that used to have it. I'm pretty sure most of the wood, the barn wood, came from a barn in upstate New York.
Actually, one aspect of this bar that I think most people that have been here get a kick out of is the basin that we pour beer from was actually the sink that was hanging on the wall here in this building for about 100 years.
Wow.
We left the soap dish in the middle just so that everybody knew which appliance it was. It was a sink. And when we moved into the into the building, Mike saw an idea where he went from to a hot and cold, got the right kind of bit, bored all the additional taps, and that went from 2 handles to 13 taps, but it is the original porcelain sink, a century old.
Nothing goes to waste here.
Nothing goes to waste in Broken Bow. All right, so another very interesting thing, I've sort of a common theme is we're very proud of the town we're in. But as we promised the town in the beginning, things may change over time, but what we really want to do is concentrate on brewing good beer. That's what we know how to do. We like to allow, food preparation, leave it to the pros. So for years, we allowed people to bring in food from home, or they could order, take in, or what have you. Well, with the virus, now you have to be a little more careful. So bringing food in that doesn't come from, certified kitchens is a risk. So we don't do that. But what we can do as neighbors is promote other places that do. So you can view Tuckahoe Beer Garden as a extension of Stevens Green, or Tucked Away, or Villaggio, or The Quarry, or Jack's, one of the newest restaurants here in town. we wanted to form a bit of an alliance, if you will, where their commitment is that they will deliver the food, you know, exceptional. It'll taste great, be on time. They'll do the napkins, the forks, everything you need safely, and they'll deliver it right to your table. So we don't get involved in any of that. But it's a great way, again, to basically decide what sort of restaurant you want Tuckahoe to turn, or Broken Bow to be this evening. So it's a way that we can help promote each other and promote the village.
And potentially there'll be more restaurants?
Well, that's a great question. We have had a number of them, in addition to these, already approach and say, how do we become part of that program? And our feeling is that, you know, that will probably come, but right now I really want to make sure that we are helping the 5 that are part of it, the original 5. And then certainly there's room for other cuisines here, and there's a lot of other great restaurants, so as it catches on, I'm sure we will add more. As you can see, we're very proud of the fact that all of our beer is brewed in Tuckahoe, New York. We have won our beer has won some national awards, regional, state, and I would say the question that we get asked more than any other is, where's Tuckahoe? And so wherever we are, we always feel a little bit like we're village ambassadors, and we explain geographically where Tuckahoe is. People get it, particularly people upstate, as they say. They're curious as to where the heck Tuckahoe is, and we let them know. So we have had visitors here in our 8 years. We've actually stopped counting, but we've had visitors from every state in the United States, all of them, all 50, and from, I would say, about 25, 30 countries around the world. We used to have a map, and we put pins, people were invited to put pins in it, and so a lot of people come from far and wide to visit Tuckahoe and drink a little Broken Bow.
You should have a wall of currencies, right? Like many restaurants do.
That's a good idea. We actually, over here, you can see it. Tuckahoe, one of the things Tuckahoe is famous for is Tuckahoe marble.
So, yes.
Well, that is a big slab of Tuckahoe marble that was taken from the ground when we put in the silo. So we're proud of the brewery's roots.
This is the same marble that was used in
Washington Monument?
Yes.
Yeah. No, history and legacy is important to us. Broken Bow Brewery, by the way, it's named Broken Bow after my wife's birthplace, Broken Bow, Nebraska. All the recipes are family designed. And so when we're part of a place, part of Tuckahoe, we're very proud, and we try to do what we can to promote it. Our latest edition.
Oh wow, this is cool. Flowers.
Yeah, it was. So the truck was, it's a 1951 Chevy. It was used by a trucking company in Maine. And it was
selling flowers, I guess.
Well, no, it was just trucking, and then a flower company bought it for selling around here. And the woman that was running the company decided that she didn't want to do that job anymore, so we bought it from her, and we're in the process of renovating it, but this is where we're currently at.
Oh.
We have 16 taps on it, which we'll be pouring beer probably within about a week from now. It's very close to being finished. We're adding refrigeration to it so the beer is nice and cold. And then we'll have this out here in the beer garden so that people could come and, you know, effectively social distance and stay away from each other, be outside, so that it's a little easier to relax and not have to worry about everything with coronavirus.
This
So-
is neat.
Yeah, so it was fully restored when it came to us, but it certainly, the purpose was not beer. And we wanted to keep, again, you know, a connection to its past, so it's all reclaimed wood. Everything is restored to that date and time. Behind the wood wall, Mike designed, and Mike and I have been installing a refrigeration system that will hold 16 kegs and some wine if we would like to put that on tap, or other drinks. And we think, as Mike said, it'll just make for a perfect night in Tuckahoe under the stars. Won't have to go inside. Everybody can be safe and happy.
All right, so we've shown you the brewery. Now I'll show you some of the beer. So here we've got a lot of our merchandise and beer to go. We've got some of the barrel-aged beers in these large bottles. Our mainstays over here that are the 12-ounce cans, which are the original beers that we released, come in a variety pack as well. And then we've got the taller beers, which are seasonals, different things that really have a tremendous range, such as our sour strawberry wheat, which is the Lucy named after my daughter, our IPA, which is the top seller, Nick's hazelnut praline porter, got the Bud Splitfoot, which took a gold medal at GABF for Belgian Golden Strong, a triple IPA. So we've got a lot of range, and then we also offer a couple things like from some partner companies that are in New York. We have Toma, which is a Bloody Mary mix. They have 3 different styles that you can sell, which pairs very well with our Mexican lager to make a michelada. And then we've got Cafe Ami Coffee, which they're close friends and local as well. We try to do kind of a taste of Broken Bow, where you could, you know, try things from some of our friends that are also local companies. And then we have our merchandise as well, as far as hats, shirts, stickers, koozies, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, we've got the bar right over here. So we've showed you around. I think it's probably a good time to have a pint.
Yeah, because after all, what is our tagline, team?
If it ain't
If it ain't broken,
don't drink it. What can we get you guys? APA,
I'll take a Lucy.
Lucy,
Lager, please.
lager for the cameraman.
And I would like a red ale, please.
All right.
That is the GABF, which is one of the largest competitions for beer in the United States. That's a gold medal for our old Splitfoot. This was a gold medal for the Nick's Hazelnut Praline Porter at Best of Craft Beer Awards in Oregon. And this is a local New York one that was also for the Hazelnut Praline Porter that we took a silver.
Nice.
And I think we've got the Can Awards. That was for the old Splitfoot,
And
which I
that
believe it took a bronze.
That one was won at West Point.
The bottle was West Point. This one was, I think, in Texas. Then we had a Bacon and Beer Classic. This was our first one that we won, was 2014. And that was for a chocolate-covered bacon stout that we made. We haven't made that in a few years. Might have to make a comeback.
All right, there you are.
Ooh, thank you.
Very welcome.
All right, guys. Cheers.
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 Salud.
So, recycling around this industry comes in many shapes and forms, and so you will. For instance, what just occurred was a small brewery that's opening upstate was looking for cooperage. We were actually looking to get rid of our some cooperage, because you will the kegs.
Oh, okay.
The metal kegs, because periodically you'll find other styles or types that you want to upgrade to. When you're starting, as the other brewery is, they're very, very happy to find bargains.
Great.
And so rather than send the metal somewhere to a scrapyard, it's
good.
now being put in use at another brewery.
And you could sell it to, you sold it to them for
We sold it to them. They got a very nice price. We got the space back. Everybody wins. So yet another form on Summer Solstice
Summer Solstice and the composting and recycling in Tuckahoe.
Yeah. So with the virus, pre-virus, of course, we were using standard glass pints to serve, or the smaller 5-ounce snifter type glasses, or what have you, for sample trays. Post-virus, that's not good. But we made the conscious decision that you could have gone to a plastic cup, like a Solo cup, that now there are millions and billions of them being consumed, and they take forever to go away once used. Or you can spend a little more and end up with compostable cups. These cups you actually want to keep your new cups, or if you're sitting in the beer garden, out of the sun, because if it gets too hot, they'll actually start to droop a little bit. You want to keep them cold and fresh. But no, they work perfectly well. We've had no reported leaks from cups or anything like that. But the important thing is we go through thousands of these a week. So rather than putting thousands of cups into the
Landfill.
we're using something that will go away, I think, within about 3-4 weeks time or so, something like that. We do the same with our straws for our frozen drinks, the frosé, the sangria, what have you. The lids that go over the top. So genuinely, with each decision we make, as with most businesses, you source your solution set, and once we have the solution set in mind, if it is at all possible, we're going to tend towards green.
One thing people should remember is that these are compostable cups, and there are 2 bins outside. One is for compost and one is for recycling. So make sure you're aware that these are compostable, and they should go in the compostable bins, not in the recycling.
That is a good point.
So this is not made of plastic, or
It
is
is
it?
not made of plastic.
Wow.
No.
I
it's-
could not have guessed.
Yeah, it's, miracle
new
of
to me.
technology.
Yeah.
But it is some other compound that actually breaks down or denigrates rather rapidly once it's in the soil.
So these are naturally
Yeah, it says
So-
greenway or
items.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're naturally compostable. If
Yeah.
you,
So it's not a chemical based product.
Wow.
no. And
So what's the price difference between this and the plastic cup?
to be very candid, Mike did the ordering on that, so this is a little bit of a guess, but I'm in the area. I would say this was an extra, probably 10% or so
Okay.
to buy that, which
Adds up.
it adds
Yes,
up,
yeah.
but it's not so much so that you can't tackle it. If that's what you want to do. Sometimes I think that the grain, the barley that we use, is nature's duct tape. It seems to work for animal feed. It works for all kinds of things. Actually, medical companies put it in prosthetics, so they actually form arms and limbs with it as well. And then Frank DeMarco brought to our attention that some other DPWs around the country were experimenting with the grain as a additive to the solutions that they put on the road in the winter to melt the ice. The grain, once used, has a sort of a salty nature to it. If it's in the batch of beer, and a beer is not the quality that we want, it still has those properties. He can use that batch that you might refer to as spoiled or just not of quality. He can add it to the other material that he purchases for the road, which is very expensive. He can make those. He can stretch those dollars, make them go further. And in a very happy coincidence, the beer material is much less abrasive for the road. So you actually make your dollars go further with something that costs less and is better for the road.
And
better for the
environmentally
environment.
friendly too, right? It's organic and it is sort of
Right.
One of the things that we have talked to Lyle and Mike about from the Broken Bow Brewery is to have beehives on the roof. We are investigating some ordinances in the state about what are acceptable bees, because we don't want to include bees that are somehow contaminated, that could bring disease to the village or the state. So I've contacted our local legislators to find out what they're asking for. Once we get that approved, and we talk to the village trustees and mayor, we're hoping that we can get approval to establish beehives to meet their requirements or any requirements. Because I've contacted other states, Louisiana, Massachusetts, via my stepson, and hopefully we'll have hives on the roof of Broken Bow Brewery. And as I said to them, Mike and Lyle, they'll have first choice on the honey, so we're looking forward to a honey brew.
yeah. How does that? Have you ever worked with honey? Do you know? Do you have any ideas?
We have. In fact, we have a beer called the Stinger.
Oh, is it here? Can I try it?
It's not on right now. It's very popular. It comes out in the fall, I think, doesn't it?
We've done fall, we've done spring. It really just depends on the honey. We like to use high quality honey, which obviously with this project would be a whole different approach. But we've always kind of waited for the right product to come by, then we release it. So we'd be very excited to do that, though.
No, it's and honey has a terrific way of basically, the way I would describe it is it will easily increase the alcohol content without giving it those heavy alcohol sort of stinging notes. So it's very, very popular. It's deceptive. That's where we came up with the name Stinger, because if you don't watch it, it'll sting you. But it's a 7% beer. When it is released, it's very popular, and you know, a lot of folks around here enjoy it. As I mentioned earlier, Broken Bow is named after my wife's birthplace, Broken Bow, Nebraska. There are 5 family members: myself, my wife Kathy, our 3 adult children, Michael, who is the head brewer, Casey, who is the head of production and quality control, and Kristen, who does all of our marketing. So we're all in it. We're here every day. It's beyond full time. And it's personal. This week, on Monday, I'm very happy to report that Casey gave birth to Adeline Ann Schwartz. Addie Ann, as she will be known, beautiful, healthy baby girl. One of the things that we are very, very proud of, besides our children and our grandchildren, is the fact that we are also, based on there's 5 of us, 3 are women, everybody's a shareholder. We are, in fact, and we're registered with the state as a women-owned business. Casey happens to be one of the very few fully accredited brewers in New York State. There aren't that many in the United States. It's like many industries, it's a whisker-dominated business. And so up until a couple of weeks ago, you could see Casey and Addie Ann, while she was still part of Casey, up on the brew stand, making everybody nervous. And there have actually been a couple of articles in brew magazines about Casey, because she is an anomaly in the industry, and now Addie Ann.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
a big event, which also, thank you.
To Lyle and Kathy and brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters. And maybe another fun fact about Broken Bow is if you see a name on the front of a beer, it's likely it's a grandchild. So one of our very popular seasonals is Lucy Strawberry Sour Wheat, and was named after Mike's daughter Lucy, who has strawberry blonde hair. Another one of our national award-winning beers, Nick's Hazelnut Praline Porter, is named after Nicholas, our second grandson. Came out in December. Everybody thought it was Saint Nicholas, but it was our Nicholas, and I promise he's no saint, but he's important to us. And his mother said, I want this to be named after Nick because he's kind of a nut. So, Nick's Hazelnut Praline Porter. We've had Chloe Coconut Baltic Porter, Cocoa Chloe. We've had Nate's Beer to Guard. So if you see a name in front of a beer, it's likely a grandchild.
Do you have any right now?
We do. Lucy, I'm sure, is up there. In fact, the sour strawberry wheat will never fit on the tap handle, so I can see Lucy from here.
Let's go and try that.
Yeah, it's a very popular beer. It's not too sour, and most people say the strawberry notes are very refreshing. I've always had a passion for craft beer, and Kathy always had a passion for making sure that the kids understood flavors in the kitchen, ingredients, how to make things. And my son and I, at his request, purchased a beer making kit, probably, 15 years ago now. And so in the beginning, like most of these craft breweries, we were just brewing for ourselves. And when you're doing that, what you most want is to get your equipment back, so you're the guy that's constantly having a barbecue in the backyard and everybody can drink the product, so you get your equipment back. And after a while, people began to say, you know, you should do something with this. And then we won some local recognition and things, and we decided to do something with it. I was in financial services for over 3 decades. The company that I work with was acquired while I was still running that division, and everybody was happy with me. I just knew it was time for a change. My son Mike had just finished an international MBA at a school in Spain. My daughter Kristen was ready to get involved in something. Casey was graduating soon from Carnegie Mellon with a degree in biomedical engineering science. And Kathy was keeping us all in line. So we decided that to go professional in 2012, probably 11. By 2012, we had, with the help of a great realtor, Jerry Houlihan, we found this location. We really liked it because of the strength of the floors, because of the height of the ceiling, and because of the proximity to New York City tap water, which is undeniably some of the best water in America. So,
and because of the community.
And, well, yes, and actually that was the one. That was really the deal maker if the brewery would have, or excuse me, if the community would have us, because most residential parks are not ringed by a very nice, commercial parks are not ringed by a nice residential neighborhood. And if you're going to bring your family anywhere all day long, you'd like them to feel safe as well. So Tuckahoe absolutely stood out. And back in 2012, we were granted approval by the village council, to go ahead. And in August of 2013, we opened.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Flaherty, and I manage our off-premise event program. And one of the big things we do here at Broken Bow during this time of year is participate in local farmers markets. Right now we are participating in markets in Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, the Tash Market, Chappaqua, Bronxville, Musket Farm, and Pauling. And this is our, I believe, 4th year of doing markets. And it's a really great way to just do, grassroots marketing, go out into the community, spread the word, get to know our customers. And it's also fun to get outside and meet people and stuff like that. So yeah, we also, right now our festival schedule is sort of on hiatus until the fall, but we also participate in local beer festivals. We did one last year at the Botanical Gardens in the Bronx, which was amazing. We also participate in one right on the Hudson River in Beacon, which is the Hudson Valley Craft Beer Festival. And yeah, we also can do off-premise private events for groups. Last year we did an Oktoberfest for a local church. We did some private parties for families. So yeah, wherever you want your beer, whether it's in here in the tasting room or out in the field, we can get Broken Bow to you somehow.
So these festivals you talk about, which one is your favorite? Which one would you recommend us to go to?
I would say the Hudson Valley Craft Beer Festival in Beacon is really good, as was the Botanical Gardens. Where else do we do?
What's your favorite?
My favorite? You know what? I like them all in a different way. It's like picking a favorite snowflake. They're all different.
Hi, my name is Kristen, and I'm also one of the owners. I'm head of marketing, and part of that is design. So another cool thing about Broken Bow Brewery would be our tap handles, which every tap handle has a chalkboard up top. So no matter how many different styles the bar has on tap, or if they're rotating, or even here, we only need one tap handle because we can always erase it, rewrite it, reuse it again.
Oh,
so
cool.
that's another really fun thing. It makes it easy for the delivery drivers. The bartenders love it because they just have to erase it. They don't have to find anything and switch it out. And it's great for us because we are able to order a minimum amount. Just keep reusing and reusing and reusing until we run out.
Perfect.
So another way you can stay green.
Broken Bow.